Hello, I welcome you for this session, and in this session we are going to learn importance of microeconomics and limitations of microeconomics. Before starting with the importance, let's recap with what is microeconomics. Microeconomics is the branch of economics that helps us in understanding about the behavior of individual units of economy at a particular point of time. In microeconomics, we are not going to study about all the units of economy simultaneously. Rather, we are going to study about individual units of economy at a particular point of time. Now, why do you think studying this subject is important is a question mark. Yes, the subject of microeconomics is very important to understand economics as a subject completely and also to understand various branches of economics. Now, when I'm talking about importance of microeconomics, let's begin with this. We all know that microeconomics is known as price theory. Hence, the first and the foremost importance of studying this subject is understanding about the pricing concept, understanding about the price theory in relation to product pricing and factor pricing. So, by understanding microeconomics, we understand how the changes in price of product take place and when the product prices change, what is the impact on the consumer behavior, what is the impact on the utility, what is the impact on the demand and supply as well. Hence, we understand the prominence of price over here. We understand the working of price and its impact on various aspects of our economy. Not only that, we also understand how are our factors priced. That is land, labor, capital and organization. Rent, wages, interest and profit, how are they decided? Because these are the rewards given to factors. These are the price of the factors. Hence, in this, the first and the foremost thing is factor and product pricing. Understanding the concept of pricing. Moving on further. In this subject, we also learn the major element, that is theory of welfare. We understand how welfare economics came into origin, how the subject of welfare economics developed gradually on the basis of various concepts of microeconomics. Similarly, in the importance, we cannot ignore the fact that without understanding microeconomics, we cannot understand macroeconomics. In order to understand macroeconomics, we need to understand microeconomics. Moving on further, this subject is dealing with allocation of resources. Not just allocation, optimum allocation of resources. You are going to learn how resources have to be allocated in the best possible way so that the welfare of one should not be compromised with the another one. So, in this subject, we are understanding allocation of resources from a consumer's perspective, from a producer's perspective, from the country's perspective as well. So, within microeconomics, we are understanding about allocation of resources. Moving on further, we also understand in this subject how taxation impacts consumer behavior, how taxation impacts producer, and how taxation impacts demand and supply, and how the equilibrium prices change because of taxation. So, in order to understand the implications of taxes, one has to understand microeconomics. Then, moving on further, this subject also helps us in understanding the working of international trade. How are foreign exchange rates decided? How are the foreign exchange rate decided? They are decided on the basis of demand and supply again. So, in order to understand the working of this foreign exchange rate system, you need to understand microeconomics. Not only that, in order to understand various elements of foreign trade, you need to understand microeconomics. Along with this, in order to frame economic models, if we have to frame economic models, we should be knowing what are the basic concepts of microeconomics. And when we understand what are the basic concepts of microeconomics, we can frame economic models. And these models help us in prediction, in understanding what could happen in future, in predicting how variables will react in future. like time series analysis. If we are understanding the concepts within microeconomics, we can apply time series analysis and see how the demand, the sales vary in future. Not only this helps our administrators also to frame economic policies. In order to frame economic policies, we need to understand microeconomics because this is the foundation of this subject. Without understanding the foundation, you cannot attain success in making successful economic policies. So these are the various importance, the various benefits of studying this subject, microeconomics. Now, moving on further, you might be thinking, oh, studying this subject is fantastic. Then why do you think limitations are there? Yes. Unfortunately, in spite of its popularity, in spite of its benefit, there are certain limitations of this subject. Very few, but they are there. Firstly, the subject is highly dependent upon assumptions. Most of the theories, principles, laws that are devised within microeconomics are based on assumptions, keeping certain factors constant. Uhegadu. In this, what happens is when we compare a particular variables working in the dynamic world, we tend to find a lot of difference in its working. Hence, giving conclusions for the aggregates become difficult. What is applicable to an individual situation does not apply maybe to all the situations. And there are existence of exceptions and paradox on this ground. Hence, in microeconomics, excessive reliability on assumption is one of the major limitations. And when I'm talking about assumptions, I cannot tend to forget the concept of laissez-faire. Microeconomics is dependent upon this assumption of laissez-faire. That is, no interference by government. Government is not going to intrude in economic policy making and working of economy. But in reality, do we find any of the countries where we don't find the interference of government, where we don't find government playing an active role in working of economy? No, almost all the countries of the world today are not adopting laissez-faire concept. But the classical economist, the classical school of thought made the concepts of microeconomics and developed all these theories and laws depending upon this one assumption of laissez-faire. Similarly, the third most important limitation of microeconomics is full employment of resources, which is again questionable in this dynamic world. When I'm talking about full employment of resources, it implies all the resources in an economy are completely employed. But is that possible? No, it's not possible. Because there are certain resources which are untouched, which are unutilized. There are some resources which are unexplored itself. We don't know about them. Maybe they are there. Hence, the concept of full employment becomes unrealistic in this real world. And the last one, the scope of this subject becomes narrow. Why? Because the laws, the principles, they are applying, they are testable, they are provable in certain conditions. You have to devise certain simulation conditions for them to be proven right. But when they are taken in the real world, they become questionable. Hence, microeconomics, though has gained importance, has certain limitation. But not to forget, this is the base of the subject economics. It helps us in understanding very, very important concepts related to economics. By understanding microeconomics, we can understand different concepts of economics like development economics, mathematical economics, the use of statistics in economics, international trade, public finance. If we need to study all the other branches of economics, we need to study microeconomics. Hence, I conclude by saying that the importance has more weightage than limitations. Keep learning, keep studying. All the best.